Big season coming up. Promotion, club rugby in Wales looking a little bit different, and you've got BUCS Super Rugby to try and win again. Is that daunting or exciting?
I think a bit of both. The goals last year was to get promoted to the newly formed Welsh Premiership, which we managed to successfully do. But of course, by going up a league, it increases the stakes even more. The teams who have dropped down from the old Welsh Premiership, your Neath, Pontypridd, Merthyr, sort of big names in the Welsh game with lots of money and lots of experience. So it's certainly going to be an interesting one from that perspective. And of course, BUCS Super Rugby is just getting stronger every year. So yeah, to fight on both fronts is going to be a challenge.
God, they are massive names when you put it like that, aren't they? I mean, legendary clubs in Welsh rugby, and now as Cardiff Met, you've put yourself in that pantheon. So with that in mind, is last season looked at as a success?
I think, after we'd done the end of season review, it was mixed, really. I think the Championship East success was a real success. They finished second in the league, and it was a strong league in there. Bargoed won it, and of course they are in the Prem with us as well, and again, a big financial backer there. So from that perspective, it was a real success. If we're honest, the way the BUCS Super Rugby season tapered out, and it did really taper out, was disappointing for us. We probably started well, but didn't carry that momentum on. We had a disappointing 3 or 4 fixtures and never quite got the momentum back. And all credit to Hartbury, done a big job on us in the quarter-final.
How do you fix it?
It's the age-old question, isn't it? The cyclical nature of university rugby means, as with all the universities, you lose a number of boys every year, and so it's getting these new lads who, some have been in the performance program, some have played BUCS Super Rugby, some are going to be freshers coming into it. There's a lot of exciting young players, but then it's getting them up to speed and getting them ready, both physically, mentally, and technically and tactically. And so it's always the same thing. It's always a challenge. And I think what we have got is a real depth to our university program. I think 3 of the teams got promoted in their leagues last year, and so as a program, we're strong across the board. But everybody else is getting stronger at the top end as well in BUCS Super Rugby, and we've got to match that and drive on.
Yeah, I think a lot of BUCS Super Rugby fans don't realise that every Wednesday you've got over 100 people playing rugby, which is quite astonishing. But what you have done on the pitch and off the pitch is create a massive identity around Cardiff Met rugby, haven't you? I mean, the expectation is to win, and you want to lift trophies and get promoted and all of those things, but it feels like a special club to be a part of. Certainly from our perspective, looking in, for you, at the coalface of it, does it feel like a special club, a special group, and a special time for that group as well?
Yeah, it's certainly a special place to work. I always wanted to work, and I always wanted to coach there. It was one of my big goals, and I've been fortunate to do both of those. And I recognise and realise the history of the place and the players that come through there. And I think a lot of the boys now are starting to but do also recognise that. But it's about taking that ball and running within themselves now. But that's notwithstanding, as I said, the other BUCS Super Rugby universities are always getting more, they're getting stronger, their programs are getting bigger, because it's such a draw now that if you play rugby in the UK and you want to go to university and you want to progress in rugby, you've got 10 choices.
What about the big one then? What about lifting the trophy? Because you've come close, and it's a game that we all still talk about, and some of the players on both sides of the ball have gone on to achieve amazing things in rugby, but you haven't quite got there yet.
No, if we're honest, we probably underachieved a little bit over the years with it. The home quarter final is so important. Like, we've only progressed the semis when we've had home quarter finals. And I think that's a big factor. We've come really close. Not last year, like the year before, Exeter, when they went on to win it. It was the last couple of minutes they scored a try after us leading for pretty much the entirety of the game. So we're always there or thereabouts, but it's just actually trying to get this consistency of performance week in, week out that allows us to to get that top 4 place in that home quarter finals. I think that is absolutely essential for progressing and giving yourself the best chance to win. So that is a big goal for us this year. You know, we can't get promoted anyway. That was a huge goal for us. Obviously, we don't want to get relegated from the Prem. I think we've got a strong enough squad to do that. So, you know, I think the aspirations will change slightly this year as well, and hopefully we can do a little bit better.
That's exciting to hear. I tell you what else is exciting as well is legacy. The cyclical nature, the turnover of players every 2, 3, 4 years, but what players go on to achieve after Cardiff Met. So Joe signing for Cardiff Rugby and Ellis getting his first Welsh cap. Another thing to be incredibly proud of for you, for the coaches, for the players who played with them, for their families, and for Cardiff Met RFC. It always seems to be good news.
Yeah, and we have been fortunate from that perspective. You know, we all know like Dom Brandt and Tom Pearson, Luke Northmore's come really, really close, has been in with the England training squads, and you know they're fantastic players who, again, no academy background. They came through Cardiff Met. Ellis was exactly the same. Also in the summer we got Will Hurd cap for Scotland from us, and Ethan McVie, scrum half for the US Eagles, and interestingly himself and Ellis were vying for the same spot at Cardiff Met. Unfortunately their last year was both a COVID year. But nevertheless it makes us extremely proud that that international conveyor belt goes on, and so yeah, I think the legacy element of it is fantastic for us, but that's notwithstanding this. The boys do come to university to get a university degree, and we keep on banging the drum for that. And you know, these are the sort of the arrow, the pinnacle, but they are the shop window in many respects as well. So yeah, we're very, very proud of these boys.
Ethan joined us on co-commentary once for a Cardiff clash.
That's right.
And I'm not saying he was biased, but he certainly bought into the Archers way of life. But yeah, great to see him doing well stateside again. Right then, let's talk serious ambitions this season. Forget the Saturday. It's all about the Wednesday, the best league in the land. What is a good season for Cardiff Met?
Yeah, I think the home quarter final is a top 4 has to be a goal. You never know where you're at in relation to the other universities at the moment. You know, I'm talking, you know, our first 3 games up, you know, Swansea away, massive derby, Cardiff clash, next one huge, then Bath home, Nottingham home. So it doesn't get, no, all of those teams are getting stronger and stronger. Speaking to Gus now in Swansea, they're confident. They've you know, got their boys back. There were so many injuries from last year, so we know how difficult that's going to be on St Helens. 3,000 or 4,000 sort of students, freshers week. So we'll have a real good idea, I think, probably after the first sort of 5 or 6 games where we're at. So we're all probably saying the same thing. This top 4, I think we can really do it. But you know, I'm saying it. I'm sure all the other directors of rugby or head coaches are saying it also. So you know, but that you know, that's the aspiration. And if we can get higher than that, fantastic. If we don't, then we've got to sort of fight the way through and try to get hopefully an away win, shall we say, in the quarterfinals.
A lot happens in the season. Finally then, who is the best club in BUCS Super Rugby?
Best club?
Best club.
Well, it's obviously Cardiff Met, there's no doubt about it. The size of it, biggest programme, 12 teams on a Saturday. Sorry, 12 teams. 8 teams on Wednesday, 4 on a Saturday.
Who's the second?
Ooh, that's a good one. Who's the... Exeter, obviously, you know, in terms of their pedigree and the, you know, the alignment with Chiefs is a fantastic sort of model they've got there. You know, there's 20 full-time professionals playing against us last year, and that really is strength. So credit to Loughborough. But then again, Loughborough came down on the weekend against us, and fair play, they looked exceptionally sharp. 66 boys, they played over sort of 4 halves, 2 games, 4 halves, and I was thinking, wow, these guys have got some depth there. So there's so many good programs there.
Heck of a season coming up. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Appreciate that.